I'm covering some of the steps that you're probably working on about now. My analogous example here is reading logs, where students are being assigned books, probably in the same way that students are being assigned standards in your assessment. And in a bit, I'm going to have elements that will need to be covered by the students in the same way that standards will as well. So what have I got here? These are the books that will be assigned to students. And what I want to be able to do is assign a book to a student. So I've got this very unfortunate interface at the moment, but it works, and that's a good step forward. So I can take one of my people, I have Billy Bragg here, and I can assign him to read Wolf Hall, click submit, and that has been entered. If I go down into MySQL, this is what I've got. This book assigned to this user, this book assigned to this user, and that's all working just fine. So let's just see how that happens. So in up.py, I've got these various sections of users and books. That's the view books, select star from TBL books, spits it out to that template. And the bit that we're just looking at there, which you'll probably want to look at, is I created a form. Just a reminder of what that form looks like. This is the form. And looking at the HTML, I've got two selects. I've got a select for the user and a select for the book, with my two users that I've got in the database and my two books that I've got in the database. I'm generating that with this, so I need to get the users using a select from the user table. I need to get the books using a select from the book table, and then I'm rendering that page that you just saw, assign book.html, passing it users equals users, books equals books, users and books. And what that's doing over here, I've got a little bit of ginger, where I've got the select, the drop down, and I'm for each value in my database, I'm looping through for user in users, and I'm building up the options for each one. Same with the book here. And then submit, and I don't think there'd be too many surprises about how this insert works. I go get the request.form user, request.form book, and insert those two things into user ID, book ID. Good. So that pretty much covers the basics of a form. It looks like this. And one of the things you'll probably be looking at next is to say, right, I've got these books assigned to these students, these ones here. I'd like to see that. I want the user to see that in a user-friendly kind of way. How am I going to go about that? So that's a reminder that you're going to have access with what I've called my SQL helper. So if I create a query and I add in assign books, and users, I can grab the fields I want, last name, first name, username maybe, and the book name and book author, and I'm almost certainly going to want to have the assign book ID, user ID, and that is going to select all of that data for me, that SQL statement there. So you should be doing something like that, and then that can go into a method like this where you can view all of the assigned books. I think that's probably enough that you'll be getting on with now.